Hello everybody, bienvenido a todos and welcome to Vabrut with me, Vabrut, and we are in Train Sim World 5. It's not my first video, but the first one I just did without commentary because I was like, well, I didn't have my microphone on me, I didn't have a camera, so I was like, oh, I'll just make a video of me playing it. And in any case, I forgot to set the safety system properly, so there was no tilt. So I thought, well, I may as well make a video with the tilt and explain things while I'm doing it. So if you want without commentary, you don't really mind that that the train doesn't properly tilt, you can go watch the no commentary one, and you'll just get the sights and sounds of the West Coast Main Line. But if you want to hear me go on about this route and explain it, then watch this video. Right, so let's have a look. So it's class 390 Avanti West Coast. It's, multiple unit. We shall do the longer train, I think. And I'm going to pick a service at random because I am going to start London Euston though, just because. Yeah, I'll do a non-stop one, I think, because there's not really much benefit to stopping at Watford. It doesn't add all that much. It's not a particularly amazing station. So yeah, I'll do that, and I don't know why I'm on June. I'll do light clouds, and then let's see where we get. Where that puts us. Right, so we'll go driver. There we go. So lovely image. And so yeah, this has been out for like 2 days now. It came on Thursday, I think, and now it's Saturday as I'm recording this. And I've been enjoying it. Like all Train Sim World releases, it is. I mean, it went smooth in terms of like there wasn't any big chunky broken thing that like, oh, you can't download because some server broke or the build didn't upload properly or whatever of that. It took ages because all the content is available at once, which means it downloaded every route I've got as part of TSW5, which means it took like 3 hours. And I have a fast internet connection, and it was slow. It took ages, but I mean that's by the by with this kind of game. Usually because they don't release all of the DLC for early access, that comes a week later. You get like a fast download, but you don't get the full experience. But this time on Steam, at least, that wasn't how it is. So let's have a look. We have the beautiful Pendolino. Chan chan chan. Chan chan chan. And here's the not so beautiful Euston. There's another Pendolino, and well, the 350s are too small to poke out the ends, so they're all inside. And there's the BT Tower. There's University Hospital. There's Euston Tower, and well, I think that's about it. And then there's the tower blocks in Mornington Crescent. And I used to live just around here. I went to university just on the other side of it, right next to the University Hospital, and I used to walk past down this road, Evershot Road, or Evershot Street, every day. Anyway, enough about me. Let's put it on. So you have to start by turning in the key, then putting it to forward. We want to set. So what will happen is these things will go off about like the tilt and stuff not working. Then they'll turn themselves off, but they'll start beeping again. Specifically about tasks. Yeah, so you press that again, and then you have to press this. Yep, twice, and then the tilt will become available. That's what I forgot to do in my no commentary video. I forgot to press that button. Vigilant. I'll put everything on just so you see what it's like. Bloody man, I'm going to do it with the mouse, actually, just because I'm running behind, I think. I don't think you have to do that, by the way. Some of these, that one, I remember the person, the train driver who did the preview stream, did that one, like turned it on and then off again, or off and then on again. Oh, I need to open the doors. We're late. Late. So here's the interior of Euston Station. There you can see the unbranded London North Western Railway trains. And as you can see, people are getting off the train, even though it's been parked at the platform. Oh no, what am I doing? That's the one I want. And I'll start closing the doors. I will... So it's a blended brake, blended brake accelerator, so you only have one control to worry about. There isn't another brake stick, and there's 4 notches on the speed, so I usually knock it into 2 to get going, and then once we've built up a bit of momentum, I put it into 4. Well, we can watch the train leave from Euston. Dun, dun, dun. What all these ramps and everything are for inside Euston. It's not a particularly nice station in real life, so, and they've captured that quite well, I'll be honest. It's a curiosity of the 60s, because they obviously spent a lot of money building, like rebuilding the whole thing and blah blah blah. But they certainly didn't spend it on the appearance. Now we go to 25 miles an hour, which is the limit as we leave the station, and then we'll have to go through some shenanigans because the fast lines are on the other side of the station, so we need to go underneath a little tunnel and then get on to the side where the fast lines are. So you can see there's a Pendolino patiently waiting, probably for our platform. And then we can go down. Oh, look at that. 2 Pendolinos. 2 Pendolinos stand before me. Time has come to tilt for your lives. Ooh, lovely. Lovely jubbly. Now, what I'll say is, whilst I don't think this route is bad, the timetable is sparse, you could say. That is to say, between Milton Keynes and Watford, I think it's pretty much fine. Like, it could be better, but you're not really going to be like, oh my god, for like a main line going through the countryside, it's pretty much fine. It's the part between London and Watford that feels like it's missing services. So you'll see that at best we might see 2 Bakerloo line trains, and if we see a third, the third is almost always going to be the one that's parked up at Harrow and Wilston, and it just seems to be there all the time. We might see 2 or 3 overground trains, but we're not going to see like the kind of volumes of London Underground trains you might expect to see, given that it's like a metro that is like every, well, at rush hour at least, it should be every 2 or 3 minutes. The Bakerloo line is that good for frequency, but it's not. But it's certainly not like 1 every 10 minutes like it seems to be in this game. And similarly, the overground doesn't seem to have as many services as it should. So now we're coming through Hampstead, approaching Hampstead, and the tunnel. So yeah, I mean, in terms of like scenery and stuff like that, like scenery I think is fine. I think the route is pretty well built. The lighting maybe feels a bit overexposed. It feels like Southeastern High Speed did when they redid the lighting in TSW3, and it seemed to be more overexposed than the other 2. This one feels a bit like that. Oh, but bear in mind, this is early access. It's possible a patch is going to come out when the game releases officially that might change certain things. So I don't know if this is like the intended look of the game, but it is what it looks like now. And bear in mind, I haven't really done any mods or anything like that. So when there's a route enhancement mod, maybe I'll install that and it'll look a bit less bright. But you can see it's really bright. Oh, and this building is amazing. I mean, From this side, it's not that amazing, although it kind of is because it looks like a stadium. But it's actually, from the other side, it's brilliant. I don't know if you can actually really get to it though. So it's known as. Oh, why did I get stuck there? Oh, there we are. So this is Alexandra Road Estate, and it's oh, you can just about nearly just see it. So it's like a series of stacked concrete houses, built in the 1960s. Very brutalist, very lovely. So yeah, as you can see, there's not a lot going on considering it's rush hour, and we're in London. There's some oddities in how bright it looks. I mean, I suppose. I mean, well, also for some reason in this route, and this seems to be the only one it's probably been of the 3 that released. When you put light clouds on, it really does put barely any. Like you have to really. There seems to be like no clouds, no clouds, no clouds, no clouds, no clouds. Then you put it up, and it's like full coverage. There's no like nice in between. Only in the photo mode do you seem to be able to get that. Oh, there's a nice 350. Oh, and there's a Bakerloo line train. Count them. That's 1. I think this is Kilburn High Road. Is it? Or is it? Oh, is it Kilburn? Is it called High Street? Oh, it's Kensal Green already. Oh, not bad. We're making a process. Okay, there's number 2, Bakerloo line. You watch, there's going to be 10 now, and it's going to make me look a twat. But like, of the 3 services I've done, I've never seen more than three Bakerloo line trains. So there's a decent amount of London Midland. It could be a bit better, I think. There seems to be a lot of 4-car services and not a lot of 8-car services. Are we going to catch up with the 350 as well? But it does a really good job of like capturing the West Coast Main Line as you leave London, just not the volumes of traffic. There's also lots of yards around that don't have much in them, but there's a decent amount of freight on the route that you'll come across. Hello. So the route is very. When you're in the Pendolino, it's quite easy. Because, well, because, I mean, really you don't have to, it's, I'm going to take a picture, a nice picture. I'll showcase off I think I did it, but without commentary in my other video as well. So that you can say, right, I want some more clouds to, like, give that nice colory effect. And maybe I want it a little bit later in the day, so I can get some nice colours. Maybe I want it like earlier in the year as well. Ooh, yes, isn't that nice? Isn't that nice, eh? Oh, no, I don't want it that late in the year. Nice August. Oh, there we go. Oh, look, you can have a nice picture. Lovely. Eh? And then we'll set that, and bye. So yeah, when you're in the Pendolino, basically you'll only ever have 2 stops at, well, 2 stops at most. So you might stop at Watford Junction, and then you'll always stop at Milton Keynes. There might be some stops during the day where there are some random stops at Bletchley or is Hemel Hempstead on here on this list? On this, does it go that far? Hemel Hempstead maybe, maybe. Yeah, but otherwise the pattern is always usually, and I can attest to this as having taken this train many times, that the electric Pendolino services go from London Euston to Milton Keynes, maybe with a stop at Watford. And from memory, Watford was boarding only, wasn't for people getting off at Watford. And we can show you the speed set as well. So there is a cruise control, but it's like, you know, old-fashioned one where you just press the button when it gets to the speed that you want, and then just leave it there. It doesn't, you can't adjust the speed and bring it down or anything. There's this button here. Come on. So like typically on the things that on the things I've done so far, the routes I've done so far, the timetable services I've done so far, I have seen usually at least 2 freight trains during my run. And I think once I saw 3 as well, 3 even. So see, like this is the Bakerloo line and the overground. And granted, I haven't been keeping a close eye on it, but we've seen 2 Bakerloo line trains. I don't recall seeing an overground train. We did see a couple in the yards in Wilson Junction. But like this stretch between here and Watford feels like it should be more busy, because you won't see many 377s either. Oh, there's an overground train. Cool. Okay, so that's 1 overground train we've seen in motion, 2 Bakerloo line trains, and we are. Where are we? Watford Junction is here. There we go. Yeah. So we're going at 125 now, and this route is the kind of route where, like, when you're in a Pendolino, if there's no trains ahead of you or there's nothing going to stop you, you're basically, once you're at 125, you're just going to stay 125 until you get to Milton Keynes, because the tilt sort of smooths out all of the corners, and there aren't that many like tough ones here anyway, so you'll just basically stay. 350. But I do love it. I do love having the West Coast Main Line. But I'd say timetable issue, just, I don't know. It's like, if the timetable was there, then maybe, because the route seems fairly solid, to be honest. Like, it drives well. It's a there's popping and stuff like that, but I mean it's the same as, I haven't played this game without mods for a long time, so I don't know how this compares to normal routes without mods. But I think it's pretty well put together in terms of, it reminds me very well of driving up and down the West Coast Main Line. I was a passenger, not as a driver, obviously. You know how I drive. Ain't nobody paying me to drive trains. Tilt. So there's the tilt. See, we're tilting into the corner. I don't think these are the tiltiest parts of the route. The tiltiest part of the West Coast Main Line, I think, is around the Midlands, sort of through Staffordshire and things like that. Oh! No, there was a speed reduction. Silly me. I think I must have done this about 100 times. No, well, the 3 times I've run this route, I've always ignored this speed reduction, because I've been like, oh, it's 125 all the way now, and it's not. It's it does drop. Well, it shows what I know. Well, the good thing is I can pop it once we get to 110. Go. There we go. I'm assuming these yellows are going to clear themselves. Yeah, they do. We're on the home straight. Well, we're not. Well, this is Watford. So look, we've made this Watford. So we passed Harrow and Euston. So we only saw 2 Bakerloo line trains. Maybe we missed one. Or maybe we missed 2. But that was still before the whole way. We saw 1 overground train in motion. Maybe we missed 1, so that's 2. So like, you get it. Like, it's not, that part of the route doesn't feel as lively as it should. Because from here on out, it's like, yeah, we've kind of left London, and all we're going to see is the mainline traffic, so Pendolinos and other 350s, and maybe the odd the odd freight train, and that's fine. Like, I don't expect this part of the route to be like bang, 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 but we didn't see a 377, we didn't see anything else. Like, I get that, like, the real timetable might be not be varied or anything, but there's definitely something missing. And it's honestly not like the performance is that bad. Like, I think Frankfurt Fulda has much bigger performance issues because it does so much more. But it manages to have like train. And so my hope is either they're sitting on some DLC that's going to come for this. I don't see what it could be that would drastically increase the services, even if they've not included the voyage services. That wouldn't be so many. It would drastically change the route. There aren't any other trains you can put on the underground or the overground that aren't there. The 710 and the 72 stock are what is there. There just need to be more of them. And I don't think London Northwestern Railway, they might have some new trains, but it's nothing that the 350 couldn't substitute in for easily in a timetable. So yeah, I'm skeptical that there was a plan for a busier timetable via DLC. I think maybe this was just what they did or had time for. It's a shame. Good news is, as we know, lackluster timetables can be saved via remasters or updates. I mean, I think New York Trenton's timetable was the most criticized, I think I remember. Certainly it like drove me to leave the forums because people were so going on and on about it, like it was the end of the world. But that one did get updated and is now pretty decent. It's not as good as like Busy as Real Life, but it's a decent timetable route. This one I assume the forums are going as crazy about. So maybe it will get its own little update in a few months time. It doesn't need that much really. I mean, if the overground and Bakerloo line services were busier and maybe there was a bit more London regional traffic, the London Northwestern services, it would be fine, I think. I mean, it would be like a 9 out of 10 route. As it is, it's a bit of like maybe 7.5 or 7 because it's giving the same vibe that you get from East Coast Main Line. But the thing about the East Coast Main Line route is that it doesn't really have local services because there aren't really any for the cities it serves, like Peterborough and Doncaster don't have their own sort of regional commuter rail services that use them as a hub. London does, so like it should be like, and London is the biggest city in the UK, so it should be like sucking everything in, but it's missing that. So yeah, you're getting like a similar experience to what you get with the East Coast Main Line. Although, one other thing that brings it down, this is what would definitely bring it down from a 7.5 to a 7, is when they launched GSW4, I'm sure it was 4, and they made a big faff and like, oh, we're making the scenario planner better, we've overhauled it, all our routes going forward are going to have portals, so you can make your own scenarios where the trains go off, and that blah blah blah. Well, the West Coast Main Line doesn't have any of that, it doesn't have any portals. It does have all the platforms and everything, but I mean, there's only so much you can do if there's no portals. That's very annoying, because it means you can't send Pendolinos off the map and then have lots of stuff happening. Basically, you basically have to account for everything within the map. That's very annoying because it goes against what they said when they launched TSW4. And I haven't really been paying attention on other routes because that have launched since then to see if this is like just something they gave up on immediately after East Coast Main Line and the other two routes that came with TSW4 had launched. But is there one other one I checked? No, I don't think so, because free roam does mean that you can just spawn a train in an existing timetable, which is usually fine. But if, like me, you want to recreate like 2010 Virgin Trains type timetable with all the silver and red clown trains and the London Midland Class 350s. You need to be able to use the scenario planner or wait for someone to create a timetable mod, which could be months. So that annoys me. But otherwise, like, performance is seeming on par for like a new TSW route. I assume there'll be some optimizations. There's some stutters. There's some stutters. I wouldn't say they're particularly worse than the others. I think Frankfurt Fulda is worse for it because it's doing a lot more than this route is, and it But there are sometimes you might see it. We might hang for like 2 seconds on a stutter. It's usually like if there's a stutter and you happen just by coincidence to do something at the same time, like change camera angle, it can cause the stutter to just hang there and the screen to like freeze for like 2 seconds. But we might not see it. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it doesn't. Which just sounds amazing. Really does have that sort of electric hum that the 390s have. Kind of futuristic whir, as I will call it. Yeah, so I think the best of the 3 routes that came out isn't this one, unfortunately, just because the timetable isn't exciting enough. Frankfurt Fulda, definitely the best of the 3, because it has a really good timetable and the modelling is great and the whole route is a really interesting one and it's challenging and it's like if you're in the ICT, you get to use the GNT, you get to use LZB. It's great. Then this one, because the Pendolino is great, really well modelled, sounds great, looks great, like really does look phenomenal. I mean, this train is like 20 years old now, and it still looks modern. And the driving experience, like for me, I do quite like longer services without so many stops, but I did do a 350 run, and that was actually quite fun, and that might be where I put my attention to more for now, just because with the 350 it's not like with this it's easy for me to talk, and that's why I'm doing a Pendolino service, because I'm not going to miss stops. I've only got 1 stop to worry about, so I can do the whole run, and basically the worst that's happened is I've missed a speed reduction, a slight speed reduction for like 15 miles an hour. Whereas if I was doing a class 350, I'd be stopping constantly because there's a lot of stops on this route. If we look at the map here, you can see like there's lots. That's what's good about this route, I think, and that might be where I put my attention to get the most out of this route. Because when you're doing a Pendolino run, because you're not really occupied with anything, you notice much more how empty it is. Whereas when you do the class 350, you're kind of occupied with the stations, and in between that you'll see Pendolinos, you'll see other 350s, and then it won't be as obvious that like there isn't necessarily the volume of traffic that there should be. Like, don't get me wrong, there are some amazing moments you can have. Like the first service I played was, I think, a morning service going into Euston, and there was a part where there was me going next to a 350, and then a freight train came through the middle of it. Oh, it was brilliant, like absolutely fantastic. So you do get those moments. It's not like a desolate, empty line. But yeah, it's just that the London end doesn't feel as busy as it should. Euston feels like there should be more happening. I mean, I don't expect this to be like Brighton Mainline, because Brighton Mainline has a very different character to it. It's I mean, effectively there are many more trains going many more directions, so service variation is much greater than it is on this part of the West Coast Main Line. But nevertheless, there should be more of that kind of feeling around the rush hour times. Like, we're at 6 o'clock in the evening and Euston wasn't that busy. Leaving London wasn't that busy. We weren't seeing lots of tube trains or overground trains. Oh, here's one of the freight trains now. So yeah, you usually see a couple of them when you're doing a full line run. Oh, and the good thing about the 350, oh, we've got Pendolino as well. And the good thing about the 350. And the good thing about the 350 runs as well is that there's so much variation in them, because you do get the sort of like semi-fast ones where you do maybe 4 stops at the top of the line if you're going into London, and then you switch over to the fast lines and go all the way into London from, say, Hemel Hempstead. And then there's the ones that stop at like pretty much all the stops. So you do get to have a good variation of that. It's very similar in its vibe to Great Western Main Line, I would say. It's not as sparse as Great Western Main Line, but it has that kind of mix of high speed and regional, fast and semi-fast, basically. Where it's lacking is just the volume. Similar to the way Great Western Main Line lacks in volume. Not to the extent, I don't think, though. It's not quite as bad as that, but like, as you see, we're passing quite a few trains on our journey. It's just, actually, it is similar to how Great Western Main Line should get busier the closer towards London you get, but you kind of don't feel that because it doesn't have the London Underground. And a lot of the shorter distance commuter services aren't in the timetable, so you miss that. And in this you definitely miss that, not having all of those Bakerloo line services and the overground, as many as you probably would think there should be. I mean, I don't know if they said anything about the overground, or the underground. They would obviously have reasons for not doing the underground timetable, because even on the Bakerloo line, they never really ever implemented the full Bakerloo line timetable. So there would probably be good reasons for that, I assume, like around performance. The overground line, the overground trains feeling not as busy as, or not as frequent as they should be. That I would be interested to see why. We shall see. But yeah, so far I played this the most, then Frankfurt Fulda, and then San Bernardino. San Bernardino is it's not anybody's fault that American railways aren't my cup of tea, but it has some nice moments, but those big chunky diesel trains, they're not my cup of tea. They're a bit too, I don't want to say that it's not that they're slow, because they can get up to decent speeds eventually. It's just they're not that. It's just the combination of the low line speeds generally. It's a well modelled route, don't get me wrong, it has its plus points, but I would say I would be fairly confident, similar to how Antelope Valley was, that it will probably be my least there. Well, actually no, Antelope Valley wasn't in the end. The Austrian route was the least played of mine, of last year's 3. But I assume San Bernardino is going to be the last of these 3 for my playtime in any case. Double 350. Because the problem with San Bernardino is just like most of those kind of routes. Like, I think Caltrain might be the only one that like seriously invests in like high frequencies and things like that, whereas Metrolink is trying to paper over the fact that most of its network was closed down years and years ago, and when freeways were built, and it runs a lot on single tracks, so you just don't actually see that many other trains. Whereas Frankfurt Full there is literally train, 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 S-Bahn, 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 Regio Express, Regio Express, Regio Express, Regio. Oh no, what have I done? Coming in absurdly fast. I'm going to have to put it into emergency. There's no way we're going to stop in time. Oh, we're going to sail through that red. Are we? Are we? The platforms are quite long here. The platforms are quite long. The platforms are quite long. Oh no, the red is right at the end there. Come on, 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 come on. Oh my god, I will be sorry if I just stop before then. If I just stop before the red. Now that was close. That was close. Oh, and technically, all the opening doors are still on the platform. Okay. I think I might get like a write-up for that from my boss, but I don't think I'll get sacked. And this is Milton Keynes, so this is like one of the biggest stations on the West Coast Main Line. Even though Milton Keynes might not be like the biggest town or anything, the station is big. Lots of very modernist. Like these beautiful like yellow, like lemon yellow tiles, beige tiles. And then this beautiful, like, reflective green station. Building. I swear it used to have a, Oh, well, we're getting off anyway, so we can actually have a wander around. I'll see how much of it we can see. Alright, I got a gold. Speeding? Yeah, well, what can I say? You got me! You got me on that. I'm gonna save myself turn off the vigilance because it should just be annoying. And theoretically, when I leave, the train should go because it's got to carry on to Glasgow. Is it? Oh no! Oh my god! It was going with me on it. Well, bye. Can I just close that door for? Does it bug me otherwise? Oh well. Off you go to Glasgow. And I think it does have the... Yeah, it does. It does have the off-world destinations fixed. So that's good. So yeah, this is Milton Keynes. Chosen as a new town because it was like halfway between Birmingham and London. And there is like an old village component, but Milton Keynes itself is the new town that was built in the 1960s and 70s, I think. Planned in the 60s and then built in the 70s. And it's one of the few cities in the UK, I don't think it's a city, one of the few towns in the UK that has, oh, you can use the lift. That has a grid road structure, a grid road network. So central Milton Keynes is just like rectangles, like you find in other cities around the world. But it's very rare in the UK. I think Edinburgh Newtown is like that. And there are certain neighbourhoods in London that have grids, but it's a small. It's not the whole city. It's not like Barcelona or New York. Oh, look at being. Excuse me, force field stopping me. 350 for an Earl Grey. Yeah, no, thank you. Anyway, we'll fast travel back to have a look around London Euston. I need to remember how to do it. London Euston. Now, this is still a little bit, because I did at the end of my last video, and you see that the camera sort of like is upside down, zooming through the world. It might do it now, actually. Yeah, look, you sort of like, wait, what? And it throws me off the platform. So that's a bit janky, but it works. I mean, it gets you if you want. It gets you where. It just doesn't do it in a particularly great way. And yeah, here's Euston, which I think is very well marked. Like it, if anything, I think it makes it Euston look too nice. Although I haven't been there for a while, so maybe they have like simplified it. See, I never understood what all these bridges before. I assume because the mail trains used to use it. And so there's like vans and stuff coming in. Oh look, there's an overground train. And a 350, and the Pendolino's coming in. Yes, it's strange. It's a strange station. Is that the closed doors time? I don't think that works in the game. I don't think they have that functionality. So yeah, here's the interior. And like these are the nicer platforms that actually have natural light, and it's still not anything special. If I remember, there used to be like fake trees in hanging baskets that came down from here. And then oh, what's down here? There is like, I mean, Euston is a very strange station. Because like here's the main concourse, you see, like departure boards, waiting area. They added this mezzanine about 7-8 years ago, or maybe 10 years ago now. First class lounges upstairs, and then there's some restaurants and bars, and then out the front there's this horrible plaza which is just like smoking central. And there's some more places to eat out there, and yeah, it's kind of like, from as I remember, there were actually a lot more kiosks that used to block all this space, but they might have gotten rid of those in real life as well. But it is quite a nice station. Just there's too, for the number of people who use it, it is now too small. But like as London stations go, it's not too bad for space. It's, as a building, it's been left. Well, the master plan that built it wasn't that great to begin with. Look, they've got little card readers and everything. Oh, can I press my card? No. Yeah, but we can do some route switching as well. But yeah, this is Euston. Pretty captures it well. Apart from the lack of people, this is never empty like this. I bet even if you went there at like 2 o'clock in the morning, when there are no trains running, you would still find about 50 people in there. So this is rare. But I don't know what's been going on with passengers in this game, but they've never got it right. I think the only one they got it right on is London Overground is kind of right. Well, anyway, let's go to here and then find the route routey swap. So where do we have to go? Not this one. Is it this one? I don't think it's this one. No, it is that one, I think. Or it's the next one. Well, I'll just jump across the platforms. It's not real life. I can do what I like. Yeah. Yeah, but like in the front of Euston, which most people don't really know, there is like a taxi rank that runs in a tunnel under the station. Brilliant. Oh my god, no, I'm well off base. It's over here. Oh, look, here's one of those. I don't support repairing robots. No, I need to go around the front of this train to get there. I'm not very good with looking with my bearings or directions. No, it is there. Oh my good lord. There it is. I think you have to go into it because it doesn't seem to. Yeah, you do. You have to go into the cone of shame. And I think Matt said the reason it's these colours is because they're really good for colour blindness. I'm like, doesn't matter, because if you make something translucent like this, look, it doesn't matter what colour it is, it disappears against the light background, regardless. Like. Now this functionality is very slow. Like, you think the game has crashed? It could have crashed. I have no idea. It's just frozen. And then hopefully something will happen. Yeah, so we can go London Commuter, Great Western Express, Southeastern High Speed, which all makes sense. Where would you go from? We'll go to Euston. Let's do a load of commuter, and then we'll see what like a busy route looks like. And then we'll get it. We'll be a passenger on a Gatwick Express or something. I mean, it's nice that it bypasses the main menu, but like, because you're still going into menu screens, it's not like, oh my god, it's like being on the tube. It's not. Although I wonder if they could do something like that, maybe like. Oh, this happened to the other day when I did it. The weather when you switch just seems to be misty for some reason. Like it wasn't. The weather was fine in Euston, but from there to here is like seemingly. Oh, this one is going in 2.5 minutes. Are the doors open? Doors aren't open yet, so let me just have a look if there's anything over there about to go. No. No, that one is also going in. Well, no, I'll just do that one then. Better the devil you know. Look, see, they've managed to get people all in here. I mean, they're mostly static images, but still, they're in here. So I wonder why they didn't do that with Euston. Yeah, I mean, this is a nice feature to have, like route hopping. I don't necessarily think it like revolutionizes the game, but it is nice if you're sort of like role playing being a driver and you live in Reigate and you have to get to Euston for your service, and then you can sort of look at the timetable for this, see what time you'll arrive, planning the tube journey, and so you can get the train that you need to get to, do the route hop, and then arrive at Euston just in time to take your train and go to Milton Keynes, or go to Watford Junction. And because with Watford Junction as well, you could with a London Overground service, you could just go back and forth each day. Are you gonna open these doors? Please turn the lights on. Thank you. Is that first class? I should deserve to be in first class, I think. Ugh! I hate when they look at me directly. Oh my god, so they all start looking at me like monsters! Ugh! Ugh! But yeah, I mean, this is kind of what I like about this game now, is that like there is that sort of I'm in the game and I can do these things. It probably do work quite well with Frankfurt Folder as well. Actually, that is one that might be good because I like high speed services. I can do say a service to Fulda and then switch to Kassel Fulda and do the high-speed service with that. So I might do that. But yeah, I'm going to end this there because I think I've covered most of the main points, and we're not even in the West Coast Main Line anymore. That's how seamless this video has been. I've transitioned into another part of London and another route. And yeah, I will say that I do think. So far, so good with TSW5. Like I said, there are issues with the West Coast Main Line. It doesn't feel as busy as it should, and I think they do have the capacity to make busy routes. We've seen that, and it doesn't have to be like extravagant. I'm not saying like, oh my god, it needs 200 more services or anything like that. I'm saying like it needs more London Overground services and more Bakerloo Line services, because that end of the line isn't giving the vibe. And maybe it needs a few more London, like Northwestern services as well, London Northwestern Railway services as well, just to pad out the commuter feel of the line, the commuter side of the line. But it's not fatal. It just brings it down from what should really be a 9 out of 10 more to like a 7 out of 10. And yeah, I'll share my thoughts on Frankfurt Fulda when we get there, and in my next video I assume that will be. And whether I do a video on San Bernardino, we'll see. I really don't know how to pad those videos out, because despite being like not particularly stop heavy, the trains not being particularly fast, you have to be concentrating to make sure you you're stopping on the at the right place, because the brakes are slow and all of that, and it's a faff. So maybe I'll just focus on West Coast Mainline and Frankfurt Fulda for a while. Um, and then the next route that comes out will be an American route, which should be much better than San Bernardino, because it'll be an MBTA route into South Boston. It should have higher frequencies, give us the AI from the Northeast corridor. But anyway, I will stop rambling and I will end it there. And I'll say thank you for watching. Any questions about East Coast Mainline, just let me know. Oh, do I need to switch back inside? How my mouse is stuck. Help! Help! Yeah. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hasta luego.